My apologies. My apologies for the late response. Rest in peace, Nipsey Hussle. You already know that's my guy. Um, for the late start, I apologize for that. I was just waiting to handle some things. I got the children's up there. But shout out to everybody that's been tuning in. We're going to be working. We're going to be doing a lot of stuff. Scratching my back right now. But Richardson Hitchins calls out Teofimo Lopez, calls him a bitch, says he's not from Brooklyn. Let's get it on. Hitchins, Tio, is that a fight going on? Sabrina Matias gets ducked. We don't know what's going on with that. Keith Thurman is coming back. We're going to get into all that with my co-host. But I also want y'all to call up. I'm going to put the number in the chat. I want to hear what y'all think about this Brooklyn versus Brooklyn matchup between Hitchins and Teofimo Lopez. After this... Yo, 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 what it is. It's your boy Norbs, and we are in the building. We are talking some boxing right now. Waiting for my co-host, but I'm going to let people start coming into the chat and things of that nature. Appreciate everybody's tuning in. So, actually, one of my guys is calling up right now. My man Low Nose Boxing in the building. Low, what's up, man? You're going to have to start camming up, bro, because we need to see the handsomeness. What's good? We need to see the handsomeness of you, my guy. Welcome.
Man. Bro.
Chilling. What's the word, man? How you feeling, brother?
Tranquilo, trabajando, pisado. Just got to work right now.
Nah. I feel you, bro. Like, I've been, boxing's been it's been weird. There's been a lot of half-ass announcements, a lot of, this fight's gonna happen, and then all of a sudden it gets changed to this fight. Canelo, is that happening with Crawford? Is Tio fighting Sabrina Matias? What happened with Devin Haney? We're getting down to a lot of different things. Tio ends up signing a deal with Kevin Connolly to advise him and hopefully get him into some bigger matchups that he has actually been looking for. Kevin Connolly is, I think if I'm not mistaken, instrumental in getting Edgar Berlanga versus Canelo Alvarez. Okay. That was a big move by Tio to do that. We all know he's been struggling with his situation with Top Rank. If I'm not mistaken, and correct me if I'm wrong, Lo, okay, Edgar Berlanga, he helped Edgar get out of his deal with Top Rank. Am I accurate in saying that?
That's what I heard. And I also heard that, hold on 1 second. That's the delivery of food? Is that food? Yeah, you got to call them downstairs.
Oh, my guy's working right now. I apologize to everybody.
You got to call them downstairs, yeah. Llámalo para abajo. Okay. He also he also manages Richardson Hitchins as well.
Yeah.
And I feel what you're saying. There's a lot of quote-unquote bochinche going on. Mm-hmm. But you know what? It gives us content creators something to talk about. Prior to yesterday, I haven't made a video in about 9 days because I wasn't really interested in stuff I was hearing. And then, but we've been getting some news courtesy of the Turk. Shout out to him. And, they talk about Tio versus Hitchins possibly. They're working on that. As we stated, things do change. Ryan Garcia is now going to fight Rolly Romero. The most important thing that's intriguing to me is, are these fights really going to be in Times Square outside in the street? What's going on with this? Is this Turkey mistaken Times Square with Madison Square Garden? Is that what he means, or he really means Times Square?
I'll be honest with you. Listen, at the end of the day, I don't care if they happen in my backyard as long as they happen at this point. That's
interesting, bro. No, that's very interesting. Times Square out there in the street,
Listen,
what?
I'm with you. I think it's a dope scenery post-production thing, but I just want the fights to be locked in and then worry about the scenery. I think fight fans are getting tired of we had a fake announcement between Ryan and Pitbull. People got excited, even though I do like the Ryan versus Rolly Romero fight a little bit better. But it's just a lot of things that are going on that people are saying, and we just want concrete things. We want fights, especially when it comes to Tio, right? And it's kind of weird when it comes to Teofimo Lopez because he has become a villain, especially to the black community. Let's keep it real, especially to the black community.
They want you to go. Hold on one second. They want you to go upstairs.
Yeah, hold on. I'm gonna pause him. Especially to the black community, he's become one of the biggest villains, and due to what he has said, fighters have actually used that as ammo against Teofimo as well. I mean, constantly I post stuff. I'm a big Tio supporter. I like Teofimo. I don't like some of the things he said, but that goes for various fighters. I don't like the same thing, the things that Adrian Bronner has said. A lot of other guys. Okay, they got to be held, they got to be held accountable. And my thing is this: when it comes to Teofimo, he has really villainized himself. On my Instagram, at StreetStarNORBE, if you guys get a chance, check that out. People are constantly attacking. Whenever I put Tio, it's racist, this, that. So he has put himself in a situation where people want to see his downfall, right? And I think that's going to be very intriguing, especially if this fight is going to happen with Richardson Hitchins, because A, they're now they're managed by the same people. B, they're both from Brooklyn, so it's going to be a lot of animosity in the building. But finally, we want to see where Tio is. Yeah.
What I will say about that fight is, I've always said that at 140, Richardson Hitchins might be his most difficult opponent in terms of style. You know, tall guy, range, knows how to jab, those 1-2s, knows how to move around, pretty decent defense.
Yeah.
And Hitchins is very confident in being Teofimo.
Yeah.
Like, this is not all talk. Like, I've met Richardson Hitchins when I went down to Boldy's gym. I had a great interview with him. And that interview actually probably got me one of my most views. I interviewed him. This was when he was in training camp.
Yeah.
And I'm going to tell you, the guy trains. He trains his ass off. When I walked in, he was getting some sparring. And when I spoke to him, this was when he was right before starting camp for the Gustavo Limos fight. And this was the day or the weekend after, or the day after Tio versus Jermaine, because I think Tio versus Jermaine might have been on a Thursday.
Yeah.
It was on a Thursday. And I went to Philly on a Friday.
Okay.
I went out there. And I asked him one of the questions, and it's on my page. I said, out of these guys, which one is the hardest, which one's the easiest? And I mentioned Tio, I mentioned Subriel, and I mentioned, I think Devin Haney.
Yeah.
And he said, Tio's easy work. He said, Devin Haney's easy too, but Devin Haney's more tricky. And it matches with his energy towards Subriel, because they spoke very highly of Subriel. And then if you look at what's going on with the people saying he's ducking him and stuff like that, like, he explained to me why he avoided him due to the weight clauses. Yeah. But he said Subriel is the most dangerous because of the element of surprise, not knowing what to expect. But he said Tio will be easy work for him. And he said Tio doesn't cut the ring off, even though he did have Tio being Jermaine Ortiz. But he said Tio is easy work for him. So he's going into that fight very confident, really believing that his team feels that way. The guys in Philly, they feel that way, because when I was in Boldy's gym, like, they don't rock with Teofimo out there at all. Even the Puerto Ricans, they do not rock with him out there at all. Philly's a different type of team out there, and I can tell you that because I'm from Philly. I grew up in Philly before I migrated to New York. Yeah. And they don't joke around. It's not like over here, the New York stuff. People joke around, the Cameron, Tio with his antics. You got to be serious. They don't play that in Philadelphia. Yeah. So they're not too high with them at all over there. And then what he said about Puerto Ricans and what he said about blacks. So Tio's going to go in there with a guy that's very confident, thinking he can beat him, believing he can outclass him. And I'm going to tell you this, if Tio goes in there and is in his own head, because he's shown against Jermaine Ortiz, that he can get frustrated. He kind of like has tantrums in the middle of the ring when things are not going his way. Yeah. When the guy's running around. If he goes in there locked in, he has to learn how to cut the ring off from Canelo and that team. If he goes in there like that, because he has all the physical attributes to put that into play, he's one of the most athletically gifted fighters in boxing today. The most athletic Latin fighter I've seen since Hector Camacho.
Yep.
And if Tio puts all that together, I could see him winning the fight. If he goes in there and gets frustrated because Hitchins is not playing into his game, then I can see it going Hitchins' way as well. So for me, it's like I would say a 55-45 fight in favor of Tio. I'm going to go on the limb to say that Richardson Hitchins is better than anybody on anybody's resume between Tio, with the exception of Tio and Devin, because they fought Loma. He's better than anything Gervonta Davis has fought.
Yeah.
Hands down.
Let me add to that. First of all, shout out to the sign. Shout out to my girl, Chev. Congratulations on the ring announcement. You did your thing, girl. I'm going to say this in regards to the Tio fight and Richardson Hitchins. Richardson Hitchins won the last fight, right? People bring up Jermaine Ortiz and stuff like that. Jermaine Ortiz was pretty much on his bike the whole fight. Hitchins doesn't really get on his bike. He's more of a fighter off the back foot, kind of dominates with the jab. He's a very good defensive fighter, but he doesn't really waste a lot of energy running around the ring. So I don't expect if this fight were to go down for Hitchins to be doing a lot of movement. I think he's going to try to control Tio with the jab. Now, if you remember his last fight, the early rounds were close when he fought. I forgot who he just fought, but they were pretty close. Yes, Paro. Liam Paro was winning the fight at one point during the beginning, right? A lot of people felt that way. And then slowly but shortly, he took over the fight. And even if you watch the fight in his corner, they were showing a lot of nervousness in regards to having him step up. Listen, I don't think Tio is going to fear him in regards of power. I think Tio is going to jump on him. I think Tio's going to put a lot of pressure on him. I don't think Hitchins can hurt him, to be honest with you. I do want to see the fight. I'm definitely interested in it, especially for all the elements. But I think it's a different fight than Jermaine Ortiz. I don't think he's going to have to cut off the ring.
No,
like
it's different because it's different because we're talking about two different calibers of fighters.
Yeah.
All due respect, Jermaine Ortiz is a hell of a talent. Jermaine Ortiz is not a world championship level fighter, you know.
Yeah.
Jermaine Ortiz went in that ring against Teofimo Lopez and did the exact thing that Jamel Charlo did against Canelo. He went in there to survive. Richardson Hitchins is going to try to win. He's not going to run. He's shown against Lemos that he does got dogs. He'll bang it out with you if he has to fight you off. It's about Tio. Can Tio apply that kind of pressure? Can he cut the ring off? Because if you're just going to follow him around, it's going to be a long night. He has to cut the ring off. He has to use the jab to counter Richardson's jab. Use a lot of head movement, kind of similar to how Canelo used his against Danny Jacobs and ripped to the body. He has the athleticism to get in range, and he has the power to hurt you. He hasn't shown one-punch power yet at 140, but he's hurting people, right? And if his power wasn't real, Jermaine Ortiz wouldn't have fought the way that he fought. He felt something.
Yeah.
He felt something. When he fought Claggett, he did hurt Claggett a couple of times in that fight, but Tio fought a lot with the back foot, you know. When he fought Josh Taylor, arguably, he probably dropped him about twice in that fight. There could have been 2 knockdowns. Yeah. That wasn't ruled as knockdowns.
Yeah. I think in regards to Tio, too, and I think he's just a very good fighter, I think when you're in front of Tio can really figure you out. I've watched a lot of breakdowns on Tio's offensive game, especially when it comes to fighting off of the jab, counterpunching. I think Tio has it all offensively. Sometimes, again, I agree with you, he does play down to the level of the opponent. But for some strange reason, I think he beats Hitchins, and I think he beats him clear. That's what I believe. I think his arsenal is going to allow him to put a lot of pressure on Hitchins, and I don't think Hitchins can really hurt him. And I thought Paro was giving him problems early, and I think, and again, you said there's different classes of fighters. Paro was a world champion. He did beat Subril. I don't think Liam Paro was on the same level as a Teofimo, especially like you said, athletically, as quick. He's a quick twitch. He's in and out. That's a lot of speed to deal with, and I want to see how Hitchins is able to actually win rounds early, especially against Tio. Tio can really jump out at you early.
Yeah, little known fact, did you know that Liam Powell was at one point in discussion to be Tio's comeback opponent when Tio was coming back
Yeah.
for the Cambosos loss. He ended up fighting Pedro Campa. Liam Powell was one of the guys that were mentioning this.
Yeah.
And we see what kind of fighter he turned out to be, a world champion. But I do see a Teofimo Lopez spectacular victory, depending on how he comes out. Because as skilled as Hitchins is, he keeps his head on the line. He throws straight punches, doesn't really take his head off the line. Those punches similar to how Richard Comey threw his, but with more skills. So I can see Teo catching him in between the shot, like the way he called Richard Comey. And speaking of Richard Comey, for me, even though that fight only went 2 rounds, that was the most fundamentally sound version of Teo that I've seen on a big level.
Yeah.
When you watch the Comey fight, he's using the jab, he was feinting the jab. Comey was trying to come over the top with the right hand, and Teo immediately read that, and he fired that right hand with Comey, but threw his with his head off the line, and he landed. Comey didn't, and we see what happened afterwards. So he did show a high level of IQ to adjust so fast.
No, and listen, guys, people got to understand too. Teo has made some moves within his camp to help him grow as a fighter and as well as a person and as a businessman, right? He goes and has been literally attached at the hip with Canelo. He signed I think a co-trainer deal, if I'm not mistaken, with Reynoso, right? So he's been working out with Canelo. So he gets to absorb what a championship fighter and what it takes to stay on that level right in front of him, right? He's doing that. He then goes and signs with Kevin Connolly to get him out of a situation. He's setting himself up to be a major player in this game. But this is also the first time we're seeing him, right, off of what he's signed. So this is the first time we get to see him off of Reynoso helping train. How much do you think that's gonna play into it? Because maybe a lot of the things that we were used to seeing from Teofimo, we're not going to see that. And Richardson Hitchins, if he does fight him, is not going to see that.
Well, I think Reynoso can help him a lot. I'm not saying Teo shouldn't have to stray away from what he does great, but he could add this to his arsenal. You know, he's still going to do slick stuff, shoulder roll, do his things like that, counter punching, using his athleticism to get in and out. But he has to show different looks. Can't just be with your hands down. Got to come through sometimes, walk forward with the high guard, take punches off with your gloves like Canelo does. Go to the body better because Canelo goes to the body well.
Yep.
I mean, excellent. Teo can learn a lot of things from Eddie Reynoso, and he doesn't have to abandon what he has. He has to add to it. He has to improve. We've seen fighters in the past improve with different trainers. You see, like, a lot of people question Reynoso because we look at Oscar Valdez. All due respect, Valdez is not Teofimo Lopez. No. Like Troy said, Hamza, shout out to him. We've never seen Valdez work out with Eddie Reynoso. We've seen that he's in the gym. It doesn't show that he got his full attention, that he's working with him. Teo's a sponge. Teo's the kind of guy that you can teach him something and he can learn fast. He has natural ability. Yeah. I've seen Oscar De La Hoya as an example. When he was coming up, knocking everybody out early, right? Mm-hmm. He was very stiff. He had that tough fight against the Puerto Rican named John Molina. After that, he hired a Mexican defensive trainer by the name of Miguel Canto, one of the greatest defenders of all time. And after that, Oscar De La Hoya switched up his game. He started bending his knees, started doing head movement. That's when he beat Genaro Hernandez, Rafael Ruelas. And then eventually when he added Emmanuel Stewart, he started pumping that jab out even more, you know? Yeah. When he added Floyd Sr., he started doing the Philly shell, but he was still doing the things that he always knew how to do. You got to add these things to your element, just like Miguel Cotto. When Miguel Cotto changed trainers, he added things to his element. When he added the Cuban guy, right? What's his name? Yeah. Pedro Diaz. That's what helped him beat Margarito, because the first time, plaster or no plaster, Cotto fought a dumb fight. Cotto put himself on the rope, allowed himself to sit on the ropes and get hit with uppercuts. Mm-hmm. When he came back with Pedro Diaz, he fought the fight in a circle and kept his back off the ropes.
Mm-hmm. No, and I mean, that's a great point. But also, listen, you can't underestimate what being around greatness does to somebody. Whether it's basketball, whether it's being around Kobe Bryant, working out with him, or NFL guys working on the offseason. Peyton Manning would work out with Tom Brady. You start to pick up a lot of the habits, whether it's eating habits, whether it's just taking yourself out of environments, mental thoughts. I think a lot of this is going to put Teo in a situation where we've never seen him as sharp. And I think this fight, for some strange reason, if this Richardson Hitchins fight does come about, I really do believe this is going to be a coming out show. And it's crazy because we've already seen him dominate, right? But for some strange reason, I think with all of the adversity that T.O.'s been facing with the racial comments and all of everybody kind of going at him saying he can't sell, he can't do this, I feel like all of that pressure, right, is going to help T.O. And I think T.O.'s going to win emphatically against Richardson Hitchins. And Hitchins is a good fighter.
Yeah.
You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
I got Hitchins beating Devin Haney if they fight.
Yeah.
And then that Hitchins is much better than Haney, just the style. We've seen when David Haney comes forward, he's not that good.
Yeah.
You know? A lot of fighters don't know how to come forward. You know, that's an element that's missing today. You don't have too many fighters that know how to do it all. You know, we see Tio struggle, cutting the ring off. We see Shakur struggle, cutting the ring off. We seen Boots struggle, cutting the ring off. We seen Devin Haney get knocked all over the ring like a ping pong when he decided to come forward against Ryan Garcia.
Yeah.
You don't have too many guys nowadays that know how to come forward and go back, know how to be a counter puncher, know how to apply pressure. You don't see that too much.
You know, one thing you can't teach is athleticism and speed. You just can't. And Tio possesses both of those. He is very athletic. He's very fast. I mean, God, I've seen him like springboard at people like a cat. Like he's got that type of athleticism to where that alone can change a fight. You know what I mean? William Paro was pretty much towards. I mean, after the fifth round, was controlled by that. He didn't have enough athleticism. He didn't have enough to really bother Hitchins. I don't see that happening with Tio. I really do believe his speed is going to be a serious problem. Especially if Hitchins starts off slow like he did against Paro. You can't let somebody like Teofimo get in a rhythm. It's very, very dangerous. And I think if they do fight, the first 2-3 rounds is gonna determine this fight. Because if Hitchins falls behind or starts off slow against Teofimo, it could end bad for him. And that's just how I feel. But let me play the Hitchins audio real quick and the video for you guys, for the fans that did not see. And I think this was last night. Richardson Hitchins calls out Teofimo.
Yo, somebody tell Tio, fuck you, Tio. I'm coming for all them belts, pussy.
Let's go, champ.
Let's go, champ. This shit coming back to Brooklyn. Cause you not from Brooklyn for real, nigga.
Let's go,
We
champ.
coming for all them belts. Yo, Keith, tell that boy sign a contract. Sign a fucking contract. You heard?
I mean, it looks like it might happen. It's a very dangerous fight. And then, listen, one thing you can't say about Teofimo is that he does not duck smoke. He really doesn't. And it's funny, I just read something, Teofimo was talking about the Tank fight, and he was like, look, like, I'm ready to make it happen. Like, he wants all of the smoke, whether it's Bud, whether it's Boots, whether it's Gervonta, whether it's Ryan. That definitely plays a part in it. And I think a lot of guys are avoiding Tio, and they're making an excuse over the racial thing because he is that good. You can't underestimate how talented Teofimo Lopez actually is. He is a very, very talented and gifted fighter. Logan,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm here. Yeah, man, he is. Another thing about his game that he needs to improve on, Lords, because I know the Tio's at his best when he's in the middle of the ring, right? When he's cutting the ring off, that's when he shows his weakness. Also when he's being too pressured too much. He has a tendency like Miguel Cotto before he fought Margarito in the rematch. Tio goes to the ropes too much and stays on the ropes, tries to counter off the ropes and gets hit on the ropes. When he should be pumping the jab, feinting the jab, sticking the jab to the body, check hooking off the ropes. When he fought Claggett, he put himself on the ropes too much. He could have made that fight a lot more easy. So these are other things he needs to work on.
Yeah, but I mean, remember, one of the things that people critiqued the most was what? The fact that he was undisciplined, right? And a lot of that could be answered, right, by.
I wouldn't say undisciplined as far as physically. See, you have different guys, that come in and they perform to the level of the competition. They come in out of shape.
Okay.
But then they in shape when it's big fight. Tio's in shape. Like, we can't question his condition. The guy goes 12 rounds. We never really seen him gassed out like that against Claggett. He even showed his gas tank is serious.
Yeah.
All his big fights that went 12 rounds, he finished strong. When he fought Lomachenko jumped on him and won 3 of the last 5 rounds because that's all I gave him. But then Tio turned it around on Lomachenko big time in the 12th round. When he fought Josh Taylor, right, he was winning that whole fight with the exception of the first 2 rounds. And then he took his feet off the brakes in round 10. But then 11 and 12, he was just walking Josh Taylor down and just beating him up. He looked like the Matrix. He was just coming forward with his hands down, weaving punches, making Josh Taylor look like he was like way slower than him and just beating him up. Like he's shown that he got a gas tank. It's not his conditioning, it is mental. He said it himself on Punch Drunk. Sometimes he gets bored in there.
No,
you can't be that.
Yeah. What I meant by that was a lot of it was criticism because, his dad was never a fighter. Just to go from what Hamza would say, right? He wasn't a fighter. He wasn't this. He was not disciplined, and now he's there. Oh, my man's in the building. Let me get him in there. My guy, welcome to the show. X, what up? We're talking about... Oh, I can't even hear you. Hold on, buddy. Hold on. Let me fix this audio. But I can't hear you. Hold on one second, buddy. Hold on. But yeah, keep talking, Lo.
Yeah, that's X. The shout out to X.
Okay.
Yeah, I know my trainer too. I'm looking at Theo's tweet right now. It's talking something about Devin Haney. But yeah, what was I saying?
You were talking. Just saying. Hold on, it's like X talk, protect X talk. Just make sure I'm getting you. I don't hear you. You're gonna have to come back out and come back in. I don't hear you right now. Come back out and come back in. But I mean, I definitely, like I said. Let me ask you a question. Where do you put Richardson Hitchins though? Where do you believe he stands at 140? Because there's a lot of smoke at 140.
Number 2. I'll give you my top 10 because I do it all the time. My top 10 at 140, right? And I got to go with the belt holders first, right? I got Tio at number 1. He's a lineal champion.
Yep.
Right, I got to go with Hitchins number 2 because Hitchins beat a champion who has a lot of momentum, who has the momentum. So I got Hitchins at number 2. At number 3, I got to go with Cuellar, the guy that beat Gary Russell, right? Gary Antoine. Mm-hmm. And then the fourth guy, I got to go with Jose Valenzuela, right? So now we're talking about
Did you say Jose Vargas? That's what you said?
No. Jose Valenzuela.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Viral. And then number 5, I got to go with not Josh Taylor, Jack Catterall, because he's been beating guys up. He got one of the best resumes there. And then number 6, I'm going to go with Devin Haney. Number 7, I'm going to go with Liam Farrell. Number 8, I got Sabril Matias. Number 9, I'm going to go with Sandor Martin. And number 10, I got to go with Barbosa. That's the top 10. That's my top 10 at 140 in order.
Well, my guy is in the building now, finally. We're on with Low Nose Boxing. He is a big supporter of Teofimo Lopez. We were talking about the Richardson Hitchins, calling Tio a bitch, saying that, he's going to take the belts back to Brooklyn. What do you think about the fight, X? I mean, is it going down? What do you think? I mean, how do you feel about it?
First off, y'all know what it is and who it is, man. It's your boy Fight Night Dex on the 10A podcast, representing 4 Corners Boxing. Shout out to Low Nose Boxing. Shout out to Hamza. He's not here with us, but that's that dude. Let's get it, man. Let's cook up, baby. It's time to get in this fucking cocina. Teofimo Lopez and Richardson. I keep calling him Richard.
Yeah, I do the same thing.
Hitchins' son is Richardson Hitchins. They need to get in that cocina right here in Madison Square Garden at the Barclays Center. I don't care where they do it, and it's looking like we about to get that. It's looking like we gonna get that very, very soon. Maybe April, maybe May, sooner rather than later. Teofimo and Hitchins are both in the gym. They both now officially signed. Theo's now officially signed to Keith Conley. Richardson didn't sign to Keith Conley. Unification. A lot of shit, you know what I'm saying? You played it earlier, Norbs. Teofimo's a bitch, signed a contract.
We can play it back. Hold on, let's play it back.
Play it again.
Let's remind the people.
Yo, somebody tell Tio, fuck you, Tio. I'm coming for all them belts, pussy. Let's go, champ. This shit coming back to Brooklyn. Because you not from Brooklyn for real, nigga. We coming for all them belts. Yo, Keith, tell that boy sign a contract. Sign a fucking contract. Yeah.
Damn. Not from
It
Brooklyn?
sounds like the contract's on Tio's end right now. That's what it sounds like. They're waiting on Tio to sign the contract.
I mean, from what I hear, it's Theo who first initiated this negotiation. You know what I'm saying?
Really?
I hear Theo took this to Top Rank, and the MSG execs were on board to host this fight, but Top Rank didn't want to put the money up for this fight.
Why do
Now
you
that
think?
he's
Why
with
do you think that? Why do you think Top Rank
it's,
won?
it's this Top Rank shit and Teofimo is, it's gone far enough, man. He's been out there putting them on blast. The feud has been ongoing for years now. Social media, he's doing interviews. He's saying what he's saying, right? That he's the last star, an elite fighter that they have over there at Top Rank, and he hasn't
Yeah.
been promoted right. He hasn't been paid right. Top Rank says, he doesn't sell. He's not the star that he thinks he is. I'm saying, though, he is elite. He is elite, regardless if he is the star that he thinks he is or not. You guys always push Bud. You put your money behind Bud, even though they claim that they lost, but you had an elite star on your hand, right?
Yeah.
So he beat y'all golden boys, man. He beat both of y'all golden boys, both of y'all pretty boys, man. He beat your boy Loma, he beat your boy Taylor. And they was really hoping that Taylor would be the one to crush him and pack him up and send him packing. It didn't happen.
And he beat
Get him
him
the
bad.
fights that he want.
He beat
You're
him
gonna put him
clearly.
on.
Yeah.
You're gonna put him on with Subriel Matias. Okay, they get the fight. They get the fight fans buzzing and hype. But you're gonna take that shit to Las Vegas? Makes no fucking sense. Yeah, absolutely. And then put it on pay-per-view. In a way, Theo has a point. You're just trying to line me up and sabotage me. So when the numbers don't do well, so when the gate doesn't do well, you say, I'm not that dude that I think that I am. When this is a fight that doesn't belong on pay-per-view and it belongs in New York City, where you make some gate money at least. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Come on now.
I mean,
Hitchins is the fight. Hitchins is the fight.
Hitchins makes sense. It's very dangerous, in my opinion. Hitchins is a very good defensive fighter.
Yeah, it is.
But for Brooklyn, I mean, it has to go. It has to go down into Barclays. It has to go to Barclays. I mean, that's just how I feel. It's a Brooklyn fight. He came out and said, what he said, you're not from Brooklyn. You know what I mean? It's gonna be interesting because
There's gonna be
again,
tension in there, bro. There's gonna be some racial tension in there.
absolutely,
Definitely.
yeah. I mean,
And maybe that's gonna be his own card.
Teofimo has set that racial tension off all of last year as well. He set that off all of last year. So guess what? Like he says, right, whichever monkey wants the banana, he got one with Africa right here, man. Richardson Hitchins is not to be fucked with neither, man. Don't sleep on him. It's a dangerous fight. And it's a big fight. It's a championship fight. It's a unification fight. It's the type of fight that we need him in because he's not getting Bud. He's not getting Tank. You know what I'm saying? He's not getting Boots.
I was telling Lo that I believe this may be a fight because again, people don't understand as well. We're probably not going to see the same T.O., right? This is the first time we're seeing T.O. under Kevin Connolly, right? Also, the first time we're seeing him after signing the co-trainer deal with Reynoso. So we might see a better version of him, a more disciplined. The biggest knock on Teofimo was his dad, is not a trainer. His dad kind of interfered with a lot of things. His dad made things hot for him. And maybe his dad didn't give him the best direction in some of these fights, not cutting off the ring, not knowing how to. A lot of that falls on your trainer. Now you're dealing with a world. How many times did he win Trainer of the Year?
Got a few.
Yeah, so we might see a completely different Teofimo, in my opinion. And that might be enough. And I for some strange reason, X, I feel like he is going to pull a Josh Taylor type performance against Africa.
Listen, he should show us what he's learning because, like you said, his father took him as far as he can. And a lot of times people, they say what they say. His father's not an official trainer. He never fought himself, this, that, and the third. But plenty of times in the Cambosis fight, in the Sandor Martin fight, in the Jermaine Ortiz fight, his father was telling him what he needed to do. Dale wasn't doing what his father was telling him, and a lot of times it's not that you're getting the right or wrong instructions. You could be getting the right instructions, but when you do not know how to do that, when that's
Yeah.
not what y'all practice and train, and when that's not what you're being taught, how do you do it? You know what I'm saying?
Very good point. Yeah, yeah.
I could be, people tell me all the time, yo, it's easy. Just do it like this and look up there. Nah, dogs, I could do the research. Now I got to put the work into action. You know what I'm saying?
How big of a difference can this actually be into turning Tio into a legit superstar? Because again, absorbing the light with Canelo, standing next to him, it kind of puts you in an apprentice role, right? In a sense, it helped Ryan Garcia's profile as a boxer, being next to him, being next to Canelo. Can he capitalize similar to what a Ryan Garcia has capitalized? And not to mention, I think he's a better fighter than Ryan Garcia. Do you believe he can be what Ryan started off to be under Reynoso?
Yo, go ahead, Lo. Go ahead.
No, I was saying that yeah, I think he could. Like I said, Tio's shown that he has natural ability. He learns fast. So if he puts his mind to it, pays attention, and practices it, I believe he can master what he's going to learn from Eddie Vinoso and Canelo. It's not about changing his style. It's about adding to it. When it's time to walk somebody down and use different things, use the things you got from Canelo. When it's time to do other things against certain type of fighters or certain type of moves that you was able to dominate with your original style, you can pull that off as well. My main thing with Tio is just got to tighten up the defense, show different looks. Don't just keep your hands down, because I'm going to be real with you. This might sound crazy. Ryan Garcia versus Tio is damn near 50-50. And I say that because at one point I said no. Yeah, I think so. Because Tio,
Ryan's strong. Ryan's fast.
Tio,
Ryan's strong, bro. Ryan catch you slipping.
Tio needs his hands down so much. You know what I'm saying, for Ryan Garcia. And then he gets clipped by Ryan Garcia's lights out. You know, even though Ryan Garcia hasn't proven to be a one-punch guy, everybody's making a big deal out of his power, but who has he knocked out at 140 yet? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But that's a dangerous fight. That's definitely a dangerous fight.
In regards to Ryan, this is my big thing. I think Ryan is so undisciplined that even if you watch it, I was watching a breakdown of I don't know who
That's
it was.
his problem.
Yeah, it's discipline. I was watching. They were breaking down Tank versus him, and Tank would keep his right glove right on his left hand, and every time he would move that, he already knew that left hook was coming, and that's something that Ryan was allowing to happen during that fight. Now, has Ryan grown to the point where anyone can teach him anything? And I think that's a question. I mean, the Philly shell, I don't even know what the hell that is, what he's doing. He doesn't, and again, if Tio were to fight him, I think Tio stops Ryan. I don't think Ryan is disciplined. I think he has the talent, but I wouldn't call it a 50-50 fight, though.
Ryan's tough, bro. Ryan's tough. And the thing about Ryan, although he's not the most disciplined, he's not the most skilled, Ryan's unpredictable. If Ryan jumps on you with those wild shots that he catch you slipping, you gonna hit the deck. You know what I'm saying? Can he keep him down? Can he keep you down? That's up to you now, because Devin Haney kept getting up.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Devin Haney kept getting up, and he took a beating. But not for nothing, he survived that shit. He went all 12. Thing is, Ryan is one of those unpredictable, fast guys like Manny Pacquiao. He's not a sharpshooter like Manny, precise with his shots, but they're fast. And when you don't see them coming, the punch that you don't see coming is the one that hurts you the most.
Yeah.
You know? So don't let him jump on you. Don't let that boy jump on you, bro.
I agree, but I think that was the big difference between the Tank fight, in my opinion. And it wasn't the power.
He jumped on Tank. He
did, but he was very sloppy when he did. His chin was up in the air. This guy was able to go underneath what he was throwing and catch him. Like, the difference in my opinion.
He was also very Flacco, bro. He was very drained.
We understand he was drained.
Yeah, but you know what, though? You know what? Tank, that win aged well for Tank. And that weight clause was definitely justified, because we've seen what Ryan turned out to do anyway.
No.
What he did with Devin Haney, with not making weight and stuff like that. So you can't blame Tank for doing that, because at the end of the day, Ryan's the type of guy that if he's the A side, he's going to do what he's going to want to do. Ryan give me the impression of a fighter, and I'm not going to speak it into existence, but Ryan kind of give me a vibe that he'll kill somebody in the ring one day and then off something that he did, and then won't even take accountability for it and play the victim.
I mean, That's a tough one. I don't know. My thing with Ryan is this again, and back to the Gervonta fight. I just want to let me just add to that point. Yes, he was weight drained, right? But one of the things that we all complained about with him was leaving his chin up in the air. He got caught clean against, I forgot what his name, put him down.
Luke Campbell.
Exactly, Luke Campbell. He was standing so tall against Gervonta. Even when he was attacking, he was allowing Tank to go right underneath. Tank is already a little guy. You're not even making him work. So Tank just was patient and just waited for a shot. He didn't do things to give him a problem. He was very, very awkward. And to me, that was the difference in the fight. Not Tank's power. It was how undisciplined he actually showed. And I think there was a fight before. I think after that, well, that's when he did the whole Philly shell. Like, he looks lost. He doesn't know what he wants to do.
When he fought Durante.
Yeah, he doesn't. He almost seems as if.
Not for nothing, though. Also, when he got dropped the first time against Tank, he got right back up. He wasn't hurt. He wasn't wobbled. He wasn't holding on for dear life after the knockdown.
No.
He took that shot kind of pretty well.
He did.
Took Tank's power pretty well. The body shot is what crushed him.
That's where he had the rib injury, apparently. That's what he said,
The head shot, he took that really well. I mean, this is another thing that people goes over people's head as well. He got right back up and he fought another couple rounds.
Yeah.
You know, and it makes you say, what if they fought at the right weight with none of that other extra shit? How does that fight play out?
I'm gonna be honest. To answer that question, I think Tank still beats him, just because.
Me too.
I just feel like it's not Ryan's talent. It's the lack of discipline. You know, you got to hone in that talent. You got to understand how to utilize that talent. And I feel like sometimes they say like NBA today, right? There's not a lot of great coaching in the NBA right now. Why? Because how are you going to tell millionaires to do something? I think Ryan has reached that level where he has so much money. Who's going to tell him anything? You couldn't even tell him to stay off social media.
That's all athletes today, I think. I think baseball players are probably the only ones that still listen nowadays. You heard?
Yeah, no, but that's my point. Like, I feel like Ryan's reached that level that you can't tell him anything. His parents can't tell him nothing. His trainers can't tell him anything. So what are you teaching somebody that knows everything? And I think that's the biggest problem.
The bank could sell you something when you fucking broke again. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
When you broke again.
But listen, he's still getting at 135 to 147. He's getting paid more than anybody not named Tank Davis. So they ain't telling him nothing yet. You know what I mean? So, I mean, listen. Again, back to that point. I would like to see Ryan fight him. It's a 6-man tournament, right? It's Ryan, it's Hitchins, it's
Hitchins and Theo, Ryan and Rolly.
Yep.
Devin and Jose Ramirez.
Yeah.
And Boost is like waiting for someone. Boost is gonna continue doing what he's doing at welterweight with the anticipation of one of these guys moving up.
I mean, apparently everybody's moving up to 147. Didn't Hitchins say he's moving up?
Boost has the opportunity to be the Marvin Hagler of this quote-unquote Four King era, because everybody was quick to call guys the Four Kings at one point when they wasn't doing nothing with each other. But now they're setting up a tournament, you know, and like Marvin Hagler, Jerron Ennis is the one that started at a higher weight class. Like Marvin Hagler, Jerron Ennis is the one that had less than stellar names on his resume. When you got guys like Devin for Loma, Regis and Teal for Loma, and Josh and Ryan for Tank and Devin. And just like Marvin Hagler, Boots didn't move up yet. Boots is in a division where there's no name. When Hagler was there, Hagler fought some good fighters before he fought the other guys, but they weren't big names. Boots hasn't really fought that many good fighters like that. So now Boots is going to be at 147 at the right time when the smaller, more popular fighters are going to move up to him, just like the Duran, the Hearns, and the Leonards move up to fight Marvin Hagler. Now the question is, can Boots still make that way comfortably by the time this is all said and done? Because if not, that's going to affect how he's going to perform against the Teofimo Lopez or Devin or Ryan Garcia or whatever the case may be. But if Boots could be the last man standing or at least beat one of those guys or two, I got Boots. I'm going to be real with you. I got Boots as the favorite.
Yeah.
But I'm rooting for Teo.
Let me ask you a question. Where does let's say that all these guys go up to 147, which they all plan to. You're talking about Devin. We're talking about Ryan. We're talking about T.O. We're talking about Hitchins, right? That's 4 people added to there. We already have Brian Norman Jr. We already have Blair, the greatest of Flair, even though he owes me a T-shirt that I paid for about 3 months ago in November. I still haven't got, right? We still got Stanionis. We still got what else? We're missing Mario. Where did these guys get left in that equation? If we're having this tournament where all these guys are going to 147, is this what Boots needs in order to propel him to being a superstar?
Yeah, Boots needs this.
Boots
Boots needs the big names to function.
Boots has this year to make his welterweight campaign, to stamp his welterweight campaign, and say, okay, I'm ready to move on. You know what I'm saying? He has this year to make that happen. He's got a unification with Stanionis coming up in April, which will lead to another fight in the fall of this year. You know what I'm saying? And maybe he'll stick around and get another fight there. I don't know, because I'm hearing Barrios and Abel Ramos are gonna run it back. So and then you got Conor Benn, who's also a welterweight, but he's about to go fight. He's about to go fight his arch nemesis over there, Chris Eubanks. So it's like, what's it gonna be, right? What's gonna happen?
But it's funny because we were all critiquing Boots at one point for not getting the big names. Why didn't he just go up to 154? But it seems like all of the bigger names, right, are now moving to 147. I mean, it might be the smartest move that he is going to stay at 147 because now he can unify, and now you got Devin Haney up there. You got Garcia. You got there's a lot of star power moving up to 147. A lot.
I don't think Boots is in no rush for 54, and I think he makes 47 right. All of that talk about, my body's getting too big and all of that shit was excuses to the lack of performance that he delivered. You know what I'm saying? Showing that he isn't as fully equipped as we thought he was. You know what I'm saying? The hype. I guess he's realized that the hype is real. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And his toolbox isn't ready for all that.
It's funny.
It happens with boxing. Social media will have you thinking you the GOAT, and you fucking got 24 rounds in with Karen Chokers on. That's all that's really on your resume.
But you know what's crazy? What people were, I mean, if we look at 147, ever since Bud and Boots left, which was almost about 2 years ago, it was very unattractive. I mean, you think about it. It was Barrios. It was, I mean, who do we really have 47? But now, looking at the later end of 2025, that might be where where the money's at right now, especially if Ryan is going to be campaigning at 147.
As wherever they go, the board continues to grow. That's where it's at.
Yeah.
Right now, 140 is one of the hottest divisions. You know what I'm saying? And 154 is flaming hot too. Right. So if Boots can handle business with these guys, that'll propel him to build up and get ready for 154.
Okay. How does Brian Norman Jr. fare out with all of this going down? Because he is one of, I mean, and I watched the interview with him recently where he says, well, listen, guys, this year, it's my fault that nobody's talking about me. It's my fault that I don't get mentioned with the Boots and the Buds and all of these guys within my range. It's my fault. So now I'm going to talk about it. Where does he fall into all of this? What do you think he accomplishes?
He could talk. He could talk all he want to talk. Let's not forget where he's at, though. He's at top rank. Where?
Yo, fellas, I'm about to sign off real quick, man.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Get at you tonight, brother.
Yep.
Say no more. Everybody, y'all can catch me also on Low Nose Boxing on YouTube, and of course on Instagram as well.
Yeah.
No, shout out to you for inviting me to your platform.
Always, my brother.
Shout out to X, Four Corners. I'm gonna see you on the 14th. God willing, I'm in the building. I already got my tickets. I'm gonna be there with Champ 5, and I also got my little cousin Ethan Virgo is gonna be there. He's a junior Olympian from Philadelphia. He's gonna be there with his dad. You know what I'm saying?
All right.
And And let's also find out what we're gonna do with the Tank fight, man. We're gonna do that or not? What we spoke about,
Yeah,
and if
yeah.
so,
There's no
no,
ifs,
what's
ands,
up?
or buts
When you come
about it.
outside,
Well,
I'm gonna let you know about that.
I'm
I'm gonna let you know
trying.
about that later on.
I'm definitely
yeah,
interested. I'm trying to walk out with Tank. I don't know if Tank is still mad at me, but I'm definitely gonna reach out to him and see if I can walk out with Tank and Leonard
say no
Irby.
more, man.
All right,
Yeah,
guy.
say no more. Y'all enjoy, man. I'll
All
be
right,
safe. I'll
my guy.
stop with y'all later.
All right.
What?
But yeah, I mean, let's get to the Brian Norman. Where does this put Brian? Does this put Brian Norman in an ideal situation? He's kind of flying under the radar. Now all of a sudden, everybody's going there. We're always gonna say Boots because Boots is the guy at 147. But look, Brian Norman Jr. is right there.
I want to see Brian Norman in a good fight. I wouldn't have minded to see Brian Norman and Teofimo get it on, being that they was both top-ranked fighters. There was the WBO champ, which would make him the mandatory for Brian Norman. But Brian Norman is at top rank, and where's the smoke and at 147 for Brian Norman, unless they're going to make business with other promotional companies, you know what I'm saying? And that's always the issue. That's always the issue. I don't know. Brian has to go talk with Theo Turkey, my G. Brian has to go talk with Theo Turkey and say, yo, get me in here some way, somehow. Get me some action in here some way, somehow, because what I'm hearing is his return is with the guy he was scheduled to fight, Derek Cuevas, Puerto Rican kid, Derek Cuevas, he was supposed to fight in November. That'll be his return fight in March. March is around the corner. I haven't heard no official announcement yet. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I mean, he has one of the belts, right? So he should have some type of stock in it. But is Top Rank really behind him? Or does he make a TO move and say, hey, you know what? I'm going to move on. But there's so much money to be made at 147 in the near future that how does Top Rank not take advantage of it? Especially we just seen with Top Rank. Didn't they just sign? What fight did they just sign that we didn't believe was going to get signed that Turkey just signed? Oh, it was the Haney fight. No, wasn't it? No. What fight was it?
No.
It was a Top Rank. I forgot what it was, but I mean, Top Rank is going to be in bed with the Zone, right? They're leaving ESPN.
That's rumored. That's rumored over there. But I'm also hearing that ESPN is talking about negotiating to extend the deal to the end of 2025 and then see where they're going from there.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you this right now. There's no way that Top Rank could drop the ball, in my opinion, with everyone listen, Devin, Ryan is the key at that point. Ryan going up to 147 is the key. And I think can Brian Norman Jr. get that fight? Do you think Brian goes after Ryan Garcia at 147?
Anybody wants Ryan Garcia, if it could get Ryan Garcia, believe that. Anybody's down to sign that contract if Ryan comes calling. But Ryan is already locked in for his business, you know? Yeah. He's locked in for his business. Brian Norman is somebody that I want to see in the mix. You want to see him in the mix. Yeah. Fight fans want to see him in the mix. But where does he fit in? You know what I'm saying? Other than the Derek Cuevas type of fights, I think that's all we'll be seeing Brian Norman do. They'll fight Derek Cuevas, and then he'll probably fight Stanionis, not Stanionis, the dude that he knocked out, the Mexican dude, Giovanni. I'd probably rematch him. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't see any action for him. Well, especially also if Barrios and Abel Ramos decide to get it on in a rematch, then you can't even go unify against Barrios. You know what I'm saying?
I don't think Barrios is going to hold on to that belt much longer, to be honest with you. Kat Taylor, what's up? She says she's here, the world's #1 boxing fan. Kat Taylor, shout out to Kat. She's definitely a hardcore fan. Kat. I don't think Barrios is going to last at 147 with that belt. I think one of those guys, whether it's Teofimo, whether it's Devin, I think whether it's...
If they can get in the ring with him, that's always the thing. We could pick who could beat him, we could think, but can they get the man in the ring? You know, and Theo Turkey has been making a lot happen, so I don't doubt it. So, you know, he's a PBC fighter, you know what I'm saying? PBC's deal with Prime is over after May, I'm hearing. I think that's the end of it.
Yeah.
Let's see. They're on their way to working with Turkey and the Zone. Let's see.
I think Turkey is they just bought 10% of the Zone. So we all know that's where boxing is most likely going to live. And again, a lot of these promotional companies, money makes things go away, right? So Turkey's going to overpay, and he's going to pay the promoters. I think these fights are going to happen. Somebody said, is Zepeda and Shakur locked in? I'm not sure. I'm not sure if that's
Zepeda
locked
is
in.
about to be rematching Tevin Farmer in Cancun, Mexico.
Really?
Zepeda and Farmer are looking to get negotiations to run it back. Golden Boy wants him to run that back and pick up that victory legitimately with no controversy. And I'm also hearing that Tevin Farmer was saying something about they want him to sign a rehydration clause. And a lot of rumors about that one. But Cancun in March is where that fight is headed.
I didn't even know that. I mean, listen. I think Turkey's gonna get it done, man. I feel like boxing, and I think the biggest thing is the money issue, the losing of the money, right? The promoters are gonna come up. They're gonna get paid. They don't have to put up their own money. No risk. You know what I mean? He's gonna put. I think there's gonna. I think 2025 going into 2026, we need a lot of big fights.
Everybody's about to start making money. The fans are going to be coming out once again because we're going to get the type of fights that we want, the type of fights that we've been asking for. The Richardson Hitchins against Teofimo Lopez. That is a fucking blockbuster fight that's going to go down. I don't care if you don't know who they are. You're about to find out who the hell they are. They are two world champions, 27 years old each, both from Brooklyn, New York, about to unify their titles at 140 pounds. And the winner of that can stay right there and continue to beat up the rest of the division, or he got an opportunity to move up and fight guys at 147. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is where Brian Norman could slide in, man. If Boots is too occupied, if this guy's going to be like this guy, then guess what? We all moving up to 47, start bringing them championships over here, man, because championships sell. Championships sell.
Who else do you think is a possibility to go from 140 to 147? Do you think it's possible we get Subriel Matias to move up to 147?
They were trying to, before Subriel ended up signing that deal with Matchroom Boxing that only lasted one fight,
Yeah.
PBC was offering him Boots.
Really?
That's what they turned down because he's like, I'm a 47-pounder and y'all want to feed me over here to this guy. You feel me? That's not. I'm a world champion at 47. I'm not trying to do that.
Boots turned
Excuse me, at 140. No. Subriel. Yes. So we could probably see that, especially right now, being that he doesn't have a championship now and he's on the brinks of like, what's next? You know what I'm saying? Are you going to get yourself back in contention? Are you going to get another title shot at 140? Maybe we could see something like that. I don't doubt it. He fits right in. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But, Ryan, Dale, Devin, those guys are going to 47. Those guys are going to 47 by the end of this year or the start of next year.
Kat, I'm sorry, you got the wrong Norman. Brian Norman Sr. is fighting Greg Hackett February 15th. His father. It's not Brian Norman Jr. It's actually his dad. If I'm in Atlanta, I'll be at that fight. Shout out to Greg Hackett.
Junior was on Milk Carton Mondays, man. We waiting to see him. He won the championship last May and hasn't been seen since. And now he's starting to come out on social media. But social media, you know what I'm saying? You can talk what you want to talk. Everybody's talking on social media. The ring is where the action starts. The ring is where the action ends.
Yeah, but I think, and I watched his interview. Shout out to Bet On Yourself podcast. My guy Karen Williams. He was on there and he was telling people, like, he was basically speaking like, yo, it's my fault. The squeaky wheel gets the oil, right? If I don't say anything, then nothing's gonna happen. And I think he noticed that, and I think
There's nothing to say, really.
Yeah.
There's nothing to say for fighters. You say it in the ring. You say it in the ring. You don't sit around. You gotta force your promotion. New company also. What's up? Y'all got some fights for me. I'm not trying to be sitting on the shelf for 10 months. I'm not trying to be sitting around for 10 months to a year.
But you also have to.
He suffered an injury. He was supposed to fight in November, so I'm not going to go too ham on him.
Yeah.
But you know what I'm saying? When are we going to see you now, bro? Don't wait. What, like, how bad is this injury? You know what I'm saying? Like, let the people know these things. This is what you need to speak upon. You know what I'm saying? Guys,
Cat
I
Taylor
was
says
ready to
his skills
come.
speak for itself. He's a good fighter. He's a good
Yeah,
fighter.
kid's a really good fighter, man. And he, what, 27 wins, 22 knockouts, man? He could punch.
Yeah, but that's why I think this is a big opportunity for all these cats moving up to 147. You get to pick and choose some very big profiles with the Devins, the Ryans. You know what I mean? It's a lot more to feast on right now. I mean, who would you rather see, him versus Haney or him versus Barrios? I'm not a big Barrios guy at all. I wouldn't pay to see that fight. You know,
Barrios and Norman?
I
Heck
wouldn't
yeah,
care.
heck yeah,
I think Norman
heck
watches
yeah,
him.
heck yeah. No, that I mean that's what we saying. But Barrios is a tough motherfucker, bro. Barrios is look at that fight with Ramos, man. He put Ramos down early. Ramos comes back to put him down. By the end of the night, they got closed eyes and broken noses.
Yeah.
But nobody laid down. Nobody laid down, you know. And then the same thing with his fight with Fabian Maidana earlier this last year. He went in there, Fabian Maidana, very little known, coming up, gets himself a shot at the title, and Barrios is cooking him early, and Fabian cranks it up late, swells that man's eye up. Barrios finished that fight with one eye.
Yeah.
Barrios finished that fight. Barrios is tough, bro. I mean, he's tough, yeah.
I'm not
even
doubting
the beat
that he's
down,
tough.
even the beat down that Keith Thurman put on him. Tank stopped him.
That's another one. Check this out.
Thurman put a beat down on him, and he went 12 rounds with him.
Yeah,
His face, his nose was like, looked like it was, like stuck to his, like, yeah, that shit was.
That's another guy. That's another guy making a comeback. Keith Thurman. He's about to.
Man.
Oh, wait, hold on.
Oh man.
What's going on? What's like Keith? What's going on? He said he's back.
Is he
3-year
fighting? Is he
layoff.
fighting at 147? He's back to bring it back at 147. Where he's fighting at?
I would think 147.
I think it's 147.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised at 154. He's fighting oh my God, what's
Rock Jarvis,
yeah, that guy. He's fighting that guy.
who has 22 wins, 20 by way of knockout, but he lost. His only defeat is to Liam Pato. Pato knocked him out in one round.
Jesus Christ.
So I'm not gonna hold that against him. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. But I just hope Keith makes it to the fight. How about that?
You don't think he's gonna do it?
Bro, Keith has been announcing his return, and it hasn't been fulfilled. Just as much as Tyson Fury has been retiring and hasn't been fulfilled. You hear me?
Why
don't
is
know.
that though? Why is he pussyfooting right now?
I don't know. He was supposed to fight Spence and before he was supposed to fight Spence before Bud and Spence fought. That never happened.
Yeah.
Then he was supposed to fight Spence again for Spence's comeback last year at 154. That didn't happen. And he was signed to fight Tim Tszyu, and I knew that shit was a setup for fight fans all over.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, he was not going to get into that fight with Tim Tszyu. And now he's talking about he's coming and he's going to Australia. Let's hope it's not just for vacation, you know? Let's hope that fight week doesn't come through and he pulls out the fight and he just enjoys his time over there in the land from down under. You know what I'm saying?
Yo, that's funny. You mentioned Errol Spence, another person that's been coming back for 2 years. Is Errol Spence coming back? I mean, dude, I feel like he should just retire. I think he's been out of the ring almost 2 years, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Going on 2 years this July, June or July, I forgot which date was the fight. Yeah. But if Keith Thurman been out for 3 years and he could come back, I guess Errol Spence is taking a page out of his playbook right now.
What do you think the holdup is with those Spence? I seen Spence go off recently on Twitter or Instagram, and he started alleging basically that guys. What did he say exactly? I wish I would have had it.
He said I could be taking steroids for these past 2 years, not being tested, and then just come back into the sport out of nowhere and all that type of stuff. Yeah, copy heard you.
Why do you think he said that? Why did he specifically say that of all things?
We got a lot of steroid. I mean, we always have the steroid issue going on. He's been accused of that before as well. There's been allegations that he's on the juice. He's never failed the test from what we know, so it's all allegedly. But I don't know. I don't know. I just know that I don't think he's mentally built for it right now, and he doesn't want to come back to fight a Brock Jarvis. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I guess he the pride there and the work that he didn't put in is not gonna let him say, "All right, yeah, I'm back," but we're gonna work our way back. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna work our way back, and I want to just go straight into the championship fight. But imagine that he does take this Fundora fight right now, bro. Fundora he might just beat the fucking life out of him, bro. That's it. It really might be it, man. This guy has been in some big, crazy fights. You know, he's been in some championship wars. He went through a car, you know.
Yeah, the Ferrari flipping, yeah.
He had the eye surgery before the Pacquiao fight because he had torn retina, whatever it is. He suffered. He's been suffering a lot, man. He suffered through some. Excuse who?
You said
no. Before he canceled the Pacquiao fight because of he had to get his eye surgery, you know, and then Bud beat the daylights out of him, had him looking, you know, he was looking crazy. Remember, he came to the ring like
he looked
all dry and high and shit, like
I mean,
take a punch.
It's unfortunate, and I get where he's coming from. Prior to the Bud fight, it was a 50-50 fight, right? He was top 10 pound for pound on everybody's list. People had
Top
him
five.
or Bud. And so I get it. That's the only loss he's faced. I mean, he's had him. He's fallen off the mountain. Like, I get it. People are killing him. You know what I mean? They, you know,
He's made good money. That man has made good money. He's made a lot of good money.
Yeah, I mean, when
he doesn't have to fight.
When
he doesn't have to fight.
No,
Mikey Garcia, Danny Garcia, Sean Porter, Errol Spence, and Ugas. I mean, excuse me, Bud and Ugas. Those 5 fights right there really set him up. You know what I'm saying? Like, they really set him out.
I don't think he wants people to see him. The last memory of him was that beating. Because when you see Errol Spence, now, the majority of people, that's what they say. This guy got destroyed by Bud, and then I feel like
and we
maybe
haven't
in the
seen
back
him
of
in
his
such
head.
a long time.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's the last you think of him, and it's unfortunate, but you know, maybe that's what's playing into it. Maybe he does want to retire, but he can't because he feels like, you know, he doesn't want that lasting memory, man. That's a bad one, man. That was a
but then again, the comeback, he doesn't want to be last seen also coming back beating Brock Jarvis. Brock Jarvis. You know what I'm saying? He wants to be known that he bounced back and became world champion again. But buddy, you got to start somewhere. Look at Deontay Wilder. He was out the ring for a while. After that,
Fury.
After the Fury trilogy, he came back a year later and knocks out Robert Helenius in like a round or two. And then he's gone again for almost 2 years, a year and a half. And he tries to go right back into championship fights, you know, because top 10 competition fights, and he gets his ass beat twice. Now you want to come back again, and now you want to take the softer touches. Now you want to fight a top 50 guy, somebody that's number 50 on the ranking list. You know what I'm saying? Or number 46, when that should have been the move. Matchmaking is for a reason.
But you know,
matchmaking is for a reason, bro.
X, the crazy thing is he's been going through a lot. I mean, he fired James, he fired his trainer. I feel like he's searching for answers at this point.
He didn't fire him. I mean, they
it was a lawsuit, though. I mean, it wasn't hired. I'll tell you that.
Money came in between that right there, and this is another reason. It's like, who's going to train you now, right? Who do you train with now? This man has trained you from the beginning of your career, so knows you better than you know yourself, probably. You know,
absolutely, yeah. It's unfortunate, man, where Errol Spence has fallen to right now. And again, I remember my boy DeMontre would call me like, "Yo, after he's done with Bud, he's going for Canelo. He's gonna get Canelo." And I just remember that.
He was on the train. He was on it. Yeah. He was on that train.
Yeah,
he was on that train.
Now we're talking about he should probably retire, or We don't, you know.
I appreciate the work he's put into the sport, man, and I don't want to see him continue getting hurt if he's not really, if he ain't got that. And from what everybody be saying, that people that I know on the inside, they like, yo, dog, he's shot, man. Like
Really?
it's maybe he I don't think he can take punches like he did once before, And now when people see you get smoked like that, they're gonna take that risk now. You know what I'm saying? Now they're gonna take something that they might have not before. Like, damn, this ninja's a beast. He breaking faces. He was breaking faces, bro.
Yeah, I mean,
broke
it
Kell
kind of
Brook's
reminds
eye.
me
He
of.
broke Ugas' eyes, bro. Like he was breaking faces. Now ninjas gonna jump on you. You feel me? Oh nah, fuck that. I'm gonna get them out of here quick. He can't take it. Beep 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 beep.
Yeah, no, it's kind of similar to when Roy Jones, after he lost Antonio Tarver, everybody was on that train like, oh, let's get this legend on our resume. He's done for. Shout out to my man Johnny on the Hangout, tuning in.
Johnny, what it do? Great interview with Christy Martin yesterday, Johnny.
Yeah, he was telling. I gotta get on that. I spoke to Johnny earlier. He just told me he bought a Ferrari. Shout out to Johnny.
Thanks, Johnny. That Ohio Buckeye money, you heard? He got a lot of money on that Ohio Buckeye championship game, man.
Yeah, now he told me he bought a Ferrari, right? Also bought a Lambo truck. So he told me Mondays he drives that, Tuesdays he drives that. So shout out to Johnny getting that money, man. Jesus Christ, man. But
and that pollo.
Yeah, man. I know. I got to watch the Christy Martin interview. And you know what's crazy? I was watching a clip of it, and I was like, damn, bro, like, she really did fight on Tyson undercards, and bro, like,
yeah, when Tyson came home, they were like, yo, who's your favorite fighter? Like, when you were in the camp, what you were why? I was watching Christy Martin.
That's crazy.
And he was like, she's awesome, and boom, put her on the cards. Yeah, it was double trouble, man. Tyson and Christy, man.
No, I remember her run. Bro. There wasn't a lot of women. I could be wrong, but to me, in my head, she was like the first female superstar in boxing. Because when I think back then, Christy Martin stands out. I don't remember anybody else, to be honest.
She was. Then Layla Ali came along, and eventually they fought. Christy was old already at the time, but yeah, Christy Martin was the first female that I recall also growing up watching.
Yeah.
And turning it up.
No, absolutely, man. If you guys haven't yet, but check it out on Twitter. Actually, you don't have Twitter, but all of my Twitter people that's tuned in right now, there's a couple hundred you guys right now. Go to my man, the Hangout Spots interview with Christy Martin.
Smash that like button. Smash that like button, everybody that's tuned in.
Yeah. But that's it's that era was so dope though. That Christy Martin era. We're talking about Roy Jones was around that time.
90s.
Yeah.
90s boxing, bro. 90s boxing was the shit, man.
Yeah, Trinidad.
You had the Golden Boy. You had Tito Trinidad. You still had some of Macho Time in there.
Yeah.
Still had some of Sweet Pea. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. It
was
good, man. That was. But you know what's crazy though, man? Like we look at. Going back to Christy Martin, right? How far, like, we just seen Amanda Serrano get the biggest paycheck of her career, right? Which is crazy. But also, how do I say this? It's kind of like how far they've came, but it's still a big gap. You know what I mean? When Christy Martin was a star to what we have now. But now we have Clarissa Shields. We have more. Like, it feels like 2021 to now has been like the springboard for females. There's been so many more females popping up on the scene. With Gabby Fundora. And she just signed for another fight coming up.
Yeah. She's about to fight again.
Yeah, you got Clarissa Shields, you got Amanda Serrano, you got Katie Taylor. There's a lot more, Bumgarner. There's a lot more females today. And, Christy really inspired that, to be honest with you. So you got to shout out Christy Martin and the females
Hall of Fame,
doing it
baby.
today.
I think she's like the first female Hall of Fame, I think, man. If I'm not wrong.
Dude, like, what's funny? When I seen the interview, it was crazy to see she looks like a grandma now. Like, think about that. when you think about boxers, you think about Holyfield, Tyson, guys who are around her age, right? We don't think to ourselves, they're like grandfathers. But women, they eventually become grandmothers. And I was watching like a flick of it, and I was like, wow. this is, and you think about it, and the reason I say the grandma thing is, when you think grandma, right, you think she got the candy, she treats me, you know what I mean? But if that was your grandma, right, and she told me I used to be a championship boxer, you were like, grandma, get the fuck out of here, you know what I mean? That's kind of crazy when you really think about it. Like, yo, like this is my grandma used to fight on Mike Tyson undercard. Imagine you telling your friends, my grandma was a world
everybody's
champion.
ass.
Oh, can you imagine that shit? That's kind of crazy, man. But Christy Martin actually did that, man, and it's kind of crazy, man. And then, you know, I want to see what's going on with the future of female boxing now, man. I hope some of these fights start to materialize. You seen Clarissa Shields called out Turkey Alasik. I don't know if you've seen that. You got to go back and come back in. So I don't know what happened to your audio. Yeah, she called out Turkey Alasik. Yeah, you're gonna have to go out and come back in because I think you got a phone call. This is why people, you got to do this on a computer, man. You got it? Just go back in and come back in. But whatever. My man Johnny, man, you're doing a good job, man. You know, you got me on the show. I was honored. You know, I put that on my bucket list. You know what I mean? Next to hiring a midget stripper, you know, that's on my bucket list as well. But you know, we're gonna see. Shout out to everybody that's tuned in on Twitter. Almost at a couple hundred right now, early. Richardson Hitchins, that was the topic of the day today, versus Teofimo Lopez. Yeah, it looks like it's going down very soon. Hopefully, we're all crossing our fingers for this to happen. Oh, there's my guy X back again. Let me just fix his audio because I know his audio is going to come in fucking crazy.
Yo.
Yeah, I got you. I'm bringing you right back in, my brother. We're about to wrap up anyway. Hold on. Cat Taylor, what up? Let me just fix this for you guys real quick because my guy, of course, got to get a cell. Yo, listen, this is what we're going to do. We got to get you a camera and a mic, all right? So you don't get kicked out off the show. Then I got to do this again. You know what I mean? There you go.
We back.
You will be back on, what you said, on some Chemistry Was Dope. I'm waiting for it, man. I'm trying to you know, with Johnny over there, I'm trying to catch up to him. You know, he's got the only person, he's got a lot of dope interviews, right? But if he gets like, he did, you know who he got that I really wanted to get? She's like the hot lady with the glasses with the white hair. She's the older lady.
Claudia Trejos.
Jesus Christ! I swear,
Claudia.
I'm not into the older women, but Claudia, you are drop dead gorgeous.
Women Crush Wednesdays, man. Drop a Women Crush Wednesday.
That is my crush. I will not tell my wife that because she's upstairs, but that is my crush. I'm not gonna lie. Hold on. Cat Taylor says, "Can we suggest Chance for you to interview?" Yeah, shoot. Who do y'all want us to interview? I got a list of people I want to interview. I'm not gonna lie. On my dream list, my bucket list is Mike Tyson, number one. He's my number one. My second guy, I gotta interview Gervonta Davis. You know that's my best.
We gotta
friend,
get the golden boy Oscar De La Hoya, man. We gotta get an interview with Oscar, man.
Oscar's awesome. Oscar definitely is somebody I would love to interview. And you know what? I watched Oscar when he got interviewed on up in what is it? The Mike Tyson podcast, whatever it was.
Yes.
And he was talking about doing shrooms and all types of shit, and he got deep. And I was just like, yo, Oscar is a nut, dude. Like, he really is nuts. But I'm trying to think, who else would I want to interview? Oscar's definitely one. But that interview was done really well, so it'll be hard for me to top that one. Number 4, shit. I would like to interview Canelo, man. But English Canelo.
Hilarious. English Canelo is a must, man.
And you know what? My number 5 would be Caleb Plant. I fucking love Caleb Plant. That's my guy. I want to interview Caleb Plant. That is somebody I would love to interview. Who's your 5?
Oh, man, everybody in the game, man. You already know, man. Run the list, man. Like you said, Iron Mike is a must. Oscar De La Hoya is a must. English Canelo, man. Listen, aside from those, I would like to interview Sugar Ray Leonard. He was one of my favorites.
Sugar Ray,
You know what I'm
wow.
saying? He has a lot of classics for us. He
Yeah,
has a lot of history there behind him. Michael Buffer. I would like to interview Michael
that's a
Buffer.
dope one. That's a dope
You
one.
know what I'm saying? Michael Buffer and Benji Estevez, referee Benji Estevez, man. That he's like those championship fights, man, that he's been in there and is like, you know what? I want to know. I want to know from a referee like that who's been in so many
Yeah.
championship fights with so many great fighters. Like, how do you hold back from stopping a fight right when you think it should be? You know what I'm saying? What makes you let the fight go on? What makes
Yeah.
you jump in early? How do you fucking deal with these fucking giants? Because Benji's a little guy,
Yeah.
right? You referee in a heavyweight fight. You got fucking 250, 300 pounders there, man.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
you know?
You know what? I want to throw another name. Don King would be another.
Oh man, only
Don
in
King.
America.
Don King and Bob Arum. I would like to interview Bob Arum. I feel like Bob Arum, he doesn't hold back too much. I want to ask him about T.O.
Bob's gonna keep it 100
Yo,
all the
like,
way. He doesn't bite his tongue.
yeah, he's pretty dope. Those would definitely. But you know what? I don't know. You know how I gotta have on the show Chev. What's her name? Chev. What the hell's her name?
Chevy, right?
Bro, I gotta ask her one question because shout out to her. The other day, I seen on Instagram that she was doing ring announcing for a fight, and I just gotta
He
ask her,
just
like,
announced her first professional fight.
yeah, what made you want to become? And then I've never heard anybody say I want to be a ring announcer. I've never. She is the
It's
first
many
person.
ways. There's many ways to get into the sport, man. It's not just being the fighter, man. There's the trainer. There's the cut man.
Yeah.
There's the guy that wraps your hands. There's strength and conditioning coach. There's the ring bell guy. Bing, bing, ninja.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? The timekeeper. There's judges.
Yeah.
There's ring announcers. There's more than one ways to skin a cat, huh?
I mean, I just want to talk about it. I want to sit down and I like to talk about it. I like to watch fights, talk, have fun. That's me. I wouldn't be able to do any of that other stuff. Ring announcing, no, that's not for me. I just couldn't do it. You know what I mean? But I'm trying to think anybody else. I really want to interview that hot chick. What's her name again?
Claudia Trejos.
Bro, she is smoking. How old is she?
I don't know, but she is the shit. You ain't never lie.
Bro, like I sit there, I was watching Johnny interview her, and I was just like, lucky bastard. Like, how did that happen? Like, Jesus Christ. Like,
Johnny's working, baby. Johnny be out there cooking, man.
she said, I will inbox you 5 and forward them to your page. Oh yeah, you could do that. That's fine. I mean, I thought you was gonna put them in the chat, but I gotta get my guy Flat on here too. My guy Flat, he's over here trying to take shots at my guy. What's his name? God, the guy that got signed to the Zone, the entertainer, Showbiz, the adult. He's taking shots at my guy Showbiz, the adult.
Last ain't feeling showbiz.
Yeah, he's not. Flat's a nut ass nigga, man. That's my guy, but he's just, he's a nut. I try. I'm gonna bring him on, but shit, I'm gonna sign off now. I was thinking of coming on late night tonight, just having a late night show, because Hamza's over there being a vegan somewhere.
Hamza's training right now. He's training right now.
Yeah, he called me on here, so. And I got a new editing software, so I've been starting to. I don't know if you've seen the new clip I just dropped. It looked pretty solid. It looked good. So
Yeah, it did. Look good.
the little recorder thing, that was dope. So yeah, I just upgraded. Hold on, please get. I'm trying to get Flat. Flat is Hollywood as shit. I went to a fight with Flat, and this guy is Hollywood, man. Like this guy, just watching him maneuver, and I'm just like, oh my god. Flat is hilarious because Flat can argue for about 2 days. You know what I mean? So I definitely want to get Flat on here. I'm gonna see if I can get him on tonight because he's a nut. But I'm about to sign off for my guy X. You know what I mean? Go spend some time with the kids. Go watch. We watched Mufasa last night. It was good. You guys want to go see a good movie? Watch Mufasa.
Check out Den of Thieves Part 2.
See, why you gotta go with the ghetto hood shit, dude? Children's movies. I only watch children's movies now. You know what I mean? I'm waiting for Lilo and Stitch to come out. I'm waiting for Superman to come out. You know, those are the movies I'm waiting for. I was watching Den of Thieves last night, and then I stopped because I had to put the kids to sleep, but whatever. But on that note, if you down to go on at 10 o'clock, 11?
After I'm done with Four Corners, after we done on Four Corners, if you want to keep it going tonight, we could do that.
Okay, Cat, I'm down to go to a fight. We could, listen, we're trying to create a whole union. All of us roll up deep, like 50, 60 deep to a fight. You know what I'm saying? I'm with that, Cat. I think if I'm not mistaken, Cat's a truck driver. I think
She
she's a
can
truck.
load everybody up in the truck
And
and
we
we
out.
out.
We
City
going
to
to
city,
Vegas.
state to state. This is what we do. Nobbs, I'll see you later tonight, my brother.
All right, 10-11. Let me know. We out of here, brother.
10
Cat,
podcast.
let us know. 10-8. We out of here. I know you're a truck driver, Cat. I've been watching you, but we're definitely going to get to work, Cat. We out of here. Love y'all to death. Thank you.